Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of my free-to-play to max set flipping series, where we started with only one single gold coin at the Grand Exchange, and we're going to work our way all the way up to the most expensive gear in free-to-play. Now that is currently valued at around 53 mil. Here is the equipment. A couple of you mentioned that a few of these things are actually incorrect, mainly the cape slot and the helmet slot. In fact, the most expensive cape is actually the Team Cape Zero, coming in at around 4 mil, and the most expensive helmet slot is actually the Gilded Full Helm. So we're going to sub those two items out. Again, if there's anything I'm missing here, let me know. Now, some people suggested that I need to get a max stack of adamant arrows. I think that would be a little too crazy, but I do have a proposition for you. For every like I get on the videos in this series, I will have to buy one adamant arrow. So for example, in the first episode, we got 2,500 likes so far. At this point, that is worth around 100k in adamant arrows. Once I am nearing the end, I will total up the amount of likes I got on this series, and we'll see how much more money I'll have to spend. Thank you so much, and let's get started. Now we've gotten to the point now that we can afford some cheaper gilded items surprisingly quickly on the. We're going to try flipping the Gilded Med Helm. Another surprisingly free-to-play item worth around 360k each. We just kind of loosely checked it on GE Tracker. I have no idea if that's the right price or not, but if it doesn't come through after a couple hours, I'll just change it up a bit. Now we did pots of flour, so we're going to do the next logical step here. We're going to do bread dough, which actually has 100 GP margin on it. Not sure how many people are buying and selling bread dough. No fucking clue, but yeah, we'll give it a try. Finally here, we're probably going to stick with our tried and true mithril plate legs. No reason not to, still making loads of money on it. And that is going to be all for now. Alright, so we ended up selling the Gilded Med Helm for a 36k profit. Not the best return on investment, and it was kind of a slow item. That said, I kind of want to give it another try. We're going to try buying them for 340k each. That way we can actually afford two of them, and we'll see if we can snipe it at a slightly lower price. Well, we didn't have any luck with our other gilded item, the Gilded Med Helm, but we switched over to something else, and that is the Gilded Square Shield. And we actually got a pretty damn good margin for free-to-play. We ended up getting a 51k profit. Now, on top of that, we finally sold off our massive amount of mithril plate legs. That took a long time. We did end up getting 135k in profit, but yeah, quite a time investment for that one. That was like 3 days to do that flip. So yeah, it was definitely a good return on investment. However, now that we're up to, I think we've actually broken 1 mil now, the amount of time that things take are also going to be a pretty important factor. Like for example, if we even get stuck with one item that we can't sell off and it's taking up an offer slot for multiple days, that is 33% of our potential offer slots taken out, so we are really going to have to be on it. Otherwise, we will just have a very congested Grand Exchange like all the time. So to accompany our bread dough, we're also going to try out just regular bread. It has a really good margin on it right now, and we can just afford 1,000. So that's going to be pretty good for now, I think. Okay, so we actually sold off pretty much all of our bread. The margin wasn't as good as I'd hoped. We sold them for 219 and we bought them for 151. Actually, no, that's pretty damn good. So on the bread, we ended up getting a 68k profit. Not bad for just bread. And on the gilded item, we got another 50k in profit. Now, what's kind of funny is because they changed the early game restrictions recently, my account is technically restricted to trade, which means I can't sell back this shrimp, which is a little annoying. I think eventually I will definitely have to go ahead and complete at least one more quest, or else unfortunately I will be restricted on some of the higher volume items. We're not going to worry about that yet until it becomes an issue. I think I would just have to complete one more quest, I think. We're not going to change anything up here. We're still getting about a 20 or 30% return on investment just by doing bread, which is the best I can find right now. Okay, so everything is finally sold off here. We are continuing to get a pretty good margin on these two items. I tried another item here, the Shortbow, and while I did get a pretty good return on it, it's very slow, so I'm not sure if I'm going to continue on with that. But yeah, look at our inventory, 1.4 mil. That looks pretty damn nice to me. We are making loads of money right now, almost 1.5 mil already, and a cooked shrimp, of course. So going forward here, my strategy is going to start changing pretty soon. We're probably going to move on to some of the more expensive low volume items, because these kind of mid-range random food items can really only carry you so far. Well, hello, look at this. This is really strange. We can't buy a chocolate cake for even 1 GP, which means nobody is selling them right now. So we want to try to take advantage of this. Now, if you do stumble upon a scenario like this, I would highly recommend not being too greedy. Don't put it in for 2 coins. You're not going to buy many at that price point. But 51 is something that I think is reasonable, and I think somebody would actually potentially sell it for that amount. Just to put this in perspective, chocolate cakes normally go for 170 each. So this could theoretically be our best flip so far. I went and checked on GE Tracker, and just today chocolate cakes have dropped by about 50 to 100 coins each. So I think it's actually kind of reasonable that we could buy them at that price. So carrying on with the baking trend, we are going to look at bread dough, which has almost 100% ROI on it. Okay, and finally here, we are going to do bread. Kind of sensing a trend here, I don't know what it is. And yeah, that's going to be it for now. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of my baking series. Today we're back with chocolate cake, which has completely bought at 51 coins each. That is extremely exciting. We could actually potentially make so much money on this. They were only selling for 100 earlier, but I think if I'm patient, I could probably sell them for 170, which is their normal price, which means we could get about $1 million in profit on that item. That's super lucky. This is pretty uncommon and I wouldn't expect this to happen very much, but I'm going to try to buy more chocolate cakes. So no luck on more chocolate cakes, but they are selling. They're about 1/3 of the way sold. And also we did a pretty slick flip on potatoes. Look at that, from 60 to 80, netting us actually 230k in profit or something. Really, really good, and that was super quick. So it looks like the food world is still treating us pretty well. We're going to try for more potatoes again just because of how quick and easy that was. A 20 GP margin at this price point is extremely good. Okay, so we didn't end up buying any more potatoes, and we're still working on selling off a few items, but we finally did it. We sold off all of the chocolate cakes. It took about, it actually didn't take that long even. We did this all in one day. So we sold them all for 1,019k, and we bought them for 305k. Okay, my math was definitely off earlier, but we made 700k in profit on chocolate cakes. That is so ridiculous. So I'm really happy we managed to take advantage of that. I had hoped we could maybe sneak out a few more of them, but I'll definitely take that. Well, look at that, guys. That was a really amazing flip on the Gilded Med Helm, going from 382k up to 470k. That's almost a 100k margin. So overall, we get 176k in profit on that. That's really amazing. The other items we're doing right now is the Willow Shortbow and bread. I think we're gonna be kind of close to break even on both of these. Okay, so we tried to do that again, and unfortunately we didn't have any luck on it. We ended up profiting a bit of money, but only about 50k. Now the Willow Shortbow is something I was mentioning earlier. It had a really amazing margin, like a 200 GP margin on an item that was only 100. Unfortunately, I just don't think it's realistic. We were waiting days to sell this back, so I just don't think it's going to happen. So now we're just kind of selling it back pretty much for break even. On the right there, you can see we're doing the room plate legs G. Optimistically looking for about a 10k margin, but they are taking forever to sell off, so we may have to adjust that again. And finally here, we're going to go for 10,000 raw chicken. Trying out a new item here. I'm not sure how big a volume there is for raw chicken, but I guess we'll find out. Okay, so we actually lost the clip here, unfortunately. Nothing too important happened, except for we ended up breaking even on those room plate legs down there. Impressively though, we actually did a really expensive flip on the Gilded chain body, giving us 165k in profit. The stack of that item is already worth 2.5 mil, which is really, really exciting. And we also got 116k in profit on the raw chicken. Selling everything off here, we're actually up to 3.2 mil now. Crazy amounts of gains this episode compared to the first one. Unfortunately, we still couldn't afford a bond because they're so goddamn expensive. If you were actually starting with 1 GP and free to play and trying to get to a bond, it would take you at least 2 or 3 weeks unless you get extremely lucky. So now we have a blank GE offer slot, and I found something really interesting on GE Tracker, and that is the Gilded Square Shield. Look at that. It has apparently selling for 500k right now, and we're going to see if we can squeak in there quickly and take that margin, because that is almost 200k, which would be pretty crazy to get. Assuming that it's correct, we're going to try buying them for around 300k each. GE Tracker really is very useful for finding stuff like that. And of course, they are a sponsor of the channel. If you want to check them out, there will be a link in the description. So we are investing quite a bit of money into the Gilded Square Shield. We're going to see how many we can buy. It is kind of possible we may buy none of them because we are currently just guessing on the margin. I don't want to potentially take a 200k loss on this. Now to accompany that, I think we're probably going to go with the potato again, because there's about a 20 GP margin. I think I checked earlier and the volume per day is about 50,000 to 60,000, which is quite a lot. And finally here, we're going to do more raw chicken, which I think is just kind of a worse version of the potato, but I can't really find anything else, so we'll just have to take that for now. Okay, so we ended up buying one of the Gilded Square Shields and selling it off for a 150k profit. Now we do have a second here. I'm going to try selling it for the same margin, which would be fucking amazing. That's such a good return on investment on an item that is actually already really expensive. If we could continue to get 150k margins on stuff like this, you know what, this may not take as long as I thought it was going to. Oh, look at that. It's beautiful. Everything is sold off, and I think we got really, really lucky this week. Or we're just in the right place at the right time, because we managed to do another 6 of the Gilded Square Shields for, well, we did cut the margin a bit, but we still managed to retain a margin of around 90,000 on each flip for the Gilded Square Shield, which means in total, we ended up with a 534k profit, which is huge for free-to-play. And on the potatoes, we ended up getting an 87k profit, which is also not bad as well. Now, after claiming everything, we're up to 4 mil and 50k, which means in this episode, we have quadrupled our money, which is way better than I could have hoped for. One thing I want to do before we go here is I actually want to buy one of the items. I'm going to do this periodically when I feel like I don't need the money that badly. The mole slippers are actually pretty cheap as well, so we'll go ahead and buy them. It actually does look like they've kind of tanked in price as well, down to well, under 300, so this won't even be that expensive. 300k, will that do it? Yes, it will. There is our very first item, a pair of mole slippers. Let's go whip these bad boys on. Okay, we have the first piece of the free-to-play max set, the mole slippers. Oh my god, these things are ridiculous. Anyway guys, that's going to be it for today. I really hope you enjoyed the episode. Again, if you are enjoying the series, let me know by liking the video. Helps out a lot. And of course, I will have to buy more arrows. Now before I go here, I want to give a massive thank you to Revolver Ocelot and Kush Patel, who subscribed at my Dragon tier of YouTube membership, as well as a massive thank you to Nathan Ashworth, Double Talk, Heathen Lock Games, and Base Titch. Thank you for making the dream possible. I appreciate you guys a lot. If you're looking for another way to support the channel, an awesome way to do so is just to become a YouTube member. By doing so, you will receive a custom Discord role, access to my video release schedule, as well as being mentioned in my videos. Thank you so much guys, and I'll see you next time.